1.
Hello, Professor slash CEO. You're going to receive this report very soon, this strategy. But today I'm going to walk you through a PowerPoint of the strategy to kind of give you an overview of what I believe you as the CEO of Goldman Sachs can do to reignite your corporate social responsibility and solve some of the most pressing issues facing your firm. So this report is entitled Banking for the 21st Century. Why banking for the 21st century? Because banking is fundamentally changing, and many firms, including yours, are figuring out that consumers are not afraid to switch to non-traditional banks in order to fulfill their banking needs. And so firms like yours, like Goldman Sachs, they need to adapt. And that adaptability isn't just in your core business operations, but it's in how you approach corporate social responsibility. So here are some key statistics to start off. The way businesses and individuals bank is changing. The rise of financial regulations has also challenged the ability of banks to organically grow and change. An updated corporate social responsibility strategy is needed to address these issues. So where is CSR today? Well, in 2016, 40% of customers expressed decreased dependence on their bank as their primary financial services provider. That's insane. 22% of customers have little or no trust that banks will provide unbiased advice. Only 16% of customers are both financially savvy and digitally savvy. That's a divide. That means there's a large percentage of customers that are only financially savvy and a large percentage that are digitally. That's a small portion that's both. 27% of US consumers view their banks as trusted partners. That's pretty low. 28% view banks as putting their own interests ahead of customers' needs. That's really low. And finance and banking continues to be the second least trusted industry behind the media. And that's saying a lot because banking and financial services and the media are very close on the list compared to all the industries above them. And media has certainly taken a hit recently in the political climate. So it's saying a lot that finance and banking are still pulled down close to where the media is at. So what are industry-wide corporate social responsibility issues? This is for the entire financial services industry. Well, due to the 2008 financial crisis, due to complex lending structures, complex securitization structures, the financial services industry as a whole, they face three problems among consumers, and really there are three lacks. And those three lacks are financial services firms, according to consumers and clients, they lack trust, they lack accountability, and they lack transparency. Those are three pretty big things that financial services firms need to attract clients. And it's particularly important because never before have financial services firms had so much competition. As I alluded to on our title slide, financial services is one of the areas that's truly inflexible in terms of demand because consumers had such little choice. But now that the consumers have more choice in the financial services sector, they have more choice to go to for lenders with Lending Club and Prosper out there. There's created some real competition. And so when financial services firms lack trust, accountability, and transparency, they're going to lose consumers, and they're going to cause even more trouble amongst their stakeholders, probably most notably the government and regulators. So what are some Goldman Sachs specific corporate social responsibility issues? Goldman Sachs faces two unique CSR issues. They're both kind of larger magnifications of the industry-wide issues. Number one, Goldman Sachs is a leading target of attacks against banks following the 2008 financial crisis and was the leading financial services firm in terms of negative mentions during the 2016 US presidential election. One of those most fateful moments was during one of the Democratic debates where presidential candidate Bernie Sanders said, "There will not be a Goldman Sachs Treasury Secretary recruited for my administration." The second issue that Goldman faces is it's perceived to be a smart kids club due to their loyalty, their brand reputation, and their track record in high-level government appointments. All of those things are really good for Goldman. Goldman has high firm loyalty, that's excellent among their employees. Great brand recognition globally, that's great as well. And a great track record in high-level government appointments, but unfortunately, there are some negatives associated with that when you put those together, and it's just part of having really steep competition, and it's something that Goldman can overcome, we believe. So what are our key recommendations? We recommend that Goldman Sachs institute an online U.S. education program designed to explain complex financial products and services. Open small business and personal lending advisory centers in cities that are high growth and very popular among millennials. And third, create an employee exchange program that allows employees to temporarily work for nonprofits and small businesses, providing key human capital insights and expertise that only Goldman Sachs could provide. So to the online education program. The rise of complex financial products and solutions have left many small businesses and consumers confused and frustrated. So to combat that, we recommend that Goldman create an online education program for small businesses and individuals designed to explain complex financial products and services. Now, this program should use analogies and comparisons which make sense for small businesses and consumers, something that's easy to understand. And the platform should be engaging, including multimedia, videos, and downloadable summaries and pamphlets. Now, there are some risks to this. Number one is it has to be information only to avoid the regulatory hurdles that come with providing advisory services, so informational only. You can't oversimplify certain products, so we don't want to actually create a worser situation by oversimplifying some of the products that are out there. And you have to be able to engage multiple age groups, particularly millennials. So now we have the Small Business and Personal Lending Advisory Centers, our second recommendation. Now, Goldman is already a resource for thousands of entrepreneurs worldwide, but this program, the program that exists already, the 10,000 Small Businesses program, excludes mature small businesses and individual consumers. So we recommend that Goldman open small business and personal lending advisory centers in select cities. Here, trained professionals can walk clients through complex business decisions, questions, personal lending questions, and we believe that the best place for these are in cities that are growing in the US and are popular for millennials. Some of these cities include St. Louis, Austin, Dallas, cities that are truly not the biggest, but perhaps have the chance to be the next boom cities in the next 10 to 20 to 30 years. We believe this advisory should be free for the first time, then should transfer over to a pay-for-service model based on the advisory services provided. Finally, the last recommendation is our employee exchange program. Now, Goldman's community teamworks program that already exists is successful, but it isn't sufficient because number one, they're too short term. Sometimes employees are only spending a day with a nonprofit. And the second reason is that because of the short terms, millennials are not engaging the way that they want to in their workplaces. And this is actually an area where Goldman and financial firms are behind technology firms. So we recommend a true exchange program designed to move Goldman employees into nonprofit and small business positions up to 1 year. This is ideal for employees in sectors facing cyclical downturns and who are looking for a sabbatical from the fast-paced banking lifestyle. Now, we think Goldman should pay the compensation difference between the nonprofit or small business role compared to what they would have made at Goldman. This way, there's an incentive for the employee to go, and they're doing good work for the community. That's the corporate social responsibility aspect of this. So what are the potential results? Well, the potential results include results that are reputational and financial. The reputational results include presenting the intelligence of Goldman employees in a way which is good for communities. So instead of all that negative press about how Goldman people are running away with people's money or how Goldman employees just get picked for Treasury Secretary all over, we're using that human capital potential of Goldman Sachs for good. It also helps combat additional government regulations by showing the government that Goldman is a force for good. And not just the government, but citizens, the people who vote for our government leaders. The financial benefits could be even greater. Through the introduction of advisory centers that cater to individual consumers, Goldman has the potential to grow their personal lending business into a mature and accountable option for consumers. And a healthy economy creates a healthy Goldman Sachs. Bigger businesses, better nonprofits, greater cities. By creating that presence today in those cities, Goldman is going to be there for generations. And that means more profits, more brand reputation, and better results down the line. Thank you so much for allowing us to present this proposal. We really enjoyed putting it together for Goldman Sachs, and we hope you, the CEO, and the board truly look into these opportunities as ways to fundamentally change Goldman Sachs, the culture, Goldman Sachs, the brand, and Goldman Sachs, the international organization. Thank you so much.